On Lund Unleashed, thanks for joining us. Final report card time for the 49ers, because when unrestricted free agency happened, everyone freaked out. Oh my God, they lost Trey Greenlaw. They lost Ward. Oh, they traded Debo. Oh, F, 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 F. Sounds like my junior year of high school. F, 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 F. But then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. They signed Purdy on time. They signed Kittle on time. They restructured Fred Warner. Oh my God. Hey. So wait, whoa. Kittle Warner just got all that money. Greenlaw. If he's pre-injured free loss, because I've told you that a million times, I'm not all that panicked about that. Just they didn't replace guys. They got a lot of special teams. They didn't really replace the guys that they needed to replace, especially on the offensive line. And they got a lot of rookies that they're going to have to rely on. So for the final time, I used to hate report card time, but the final time it's time for a 49ers off-season report card. Remember, it's John Lund Unleashed. Make sure you're subscribed. John Lund Unleashed on YouTube, as well as the Bay Area Sports Collective. That is the B in the corner. On the right there is John Lund Unleashed. On the left there is Bay Area Sports Collective. Make sure that you are subscribed to both. Give us a thumbs up so that the algorithm will love us, and make sure you have those alerts on so you know not only do we do live shows Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Pacific on Saturdays, but we're random like now, and we put stuff out all the time, shorts, all sorts of things, stories of the day. So you got to make sure those alerts are on. Those alerts have to be on at John Lund Unleashed on YouTube. All right, final time, report card time. Off-season report card time for the 49ers for the final time. So, departures, Deebo Samuel, Javon Hargrave, Leonard Floyd, Dre Greenlaw, Aaron Banks, Talanoa Hufanga, Charvarius Ward. All right, so let's go through that first. Deebo Samuel, I think, is on the downside. I don't think he's going to bounce back. You need a certain type of receiver with Brock Purdy. He's not a great route runner. He was not great after the catch. Not a great drop against the Rams when they kind of still had some hope left in the season. Javon Hargrave was a complete and utter bust. Leonard Floyd had 8.5 sacks, and you're all excited. Go watch the other 600 plays. He was terrible. Dre Greenlaw, we'll get to in just a second. That one could hurt. Aaron Banks, I'm not giving the money that Green Bay gave him. That's a joke. Talanoa Hufanga, before we knew that Malik Mustafa had the knee injury, he was going to start over Talanoa Hufanga anyway. So Denver gives him the money. The 49ers were never going to give him that money. What do the 49ers like least of anything? Injuries. Availability is the best ability. Talanoa Hufanga was not available. Now, in light of the Malik Mustafa injury, would it be nice to have him back? Yes. But they weren't going to sign Talanoa Hufanga for the number that Denver or someone else was going to give him. And Charvarius Ward, I feel horrible about the things that happened in the offseason and off the field for Charvarius Ward. He was never going to come back here. He said in locker room cleanout day that he had PTSD. His wife had PTSD. His young daughter died during the season, if you did not know that, and they were never coming back to San Francisco. He ends up in Indianapolis. If it was the guy from 2023 when they went to the Super Bowl, then yeah, they're going to miss that guy. If it was the guy from last year, unfortunate offseason circumstances, Ardo Green, the second-round pick in 2024, was actually a better player. So I'm not saying Charvarius Ward is not a loss, but Charvarius Ward, the guy who played in 2024 and was distracted off the field and for very good reason, he's not going to be missed as much. The guy from 2023 is. So now, Dre Greenlaw, different story. We know that. Can Nick Martin replace him? I doubt it, at least this year. Can D. Winters replace him? He didn't last year. Dre Greenlaw is going to hurt if he's pre-injury Dre Greenlaw. Now, we know the story by now that the 49ers were desperate to get him back. They wanted him. Fred Warner, his sidekick, makes a ton of sense. If there was an off-season guy that I would want and to redo, and the Niners, no doubt, misread the market on Dre Greenlaw. They were going into free agency. I know this for a fact because I talked to people. They were going into free agency thinking 1-year deal for Dre Greenlaw. He gets $3 and $35, which, by the way, we know the funny money. It's only a 1-year deal from Denver, but he got the deal. They tried to get him back. He had already said yes to Denver, didn't want to go back on his word, and so the 49ers miss out on Dre Greenlaw. Will that one hurt? Most likely. But the other departures from free agency, I'm not all that worried about. Deebo Samuel, that should be Ricky Pearsall. Javon Hargrave, they drafted 2 big loads in the middle, going to replace him. Leonard Floyd, Mikael Williams, Dre Greenlaw, hopefully Nick Martin. Aaron Banks still up for question. Talanoa Hufanga, you had Mustafa and will at some point. Charvarius Ward, Renardo Green, at least last year's version, is better. Now, that's how departures go. So give me your grade there. You may disagree. That's fine. Notable veteran additions on the screen there. Mac Jones, not a huge fan. Luke Farrell is the one, and he's a blocking tight end. He's not going to be a pass catcher. Demarcus Robinson early in the season will make up for Brandon Ayuk whenever Brandon Ayuk comes back. Don't love the Trey Brown signing, who's hurt a ton in Seattle. This is where your special teams guys come in. Luke Gifford, Tennessee, special teams. Richie Grant, safety, came over from Atlanta, special teams. John Winks, long snapper, special teams. Jason Pinnock, now he may have to play some safety now with the injury to Malik Mustafa, but he's mostly a special teamer. Saran Neal, special teamer. So a lot of special teams guys kind of overdid it with the special teams guy. And along those lines, if you want to go notable veteran additions, as I put down coaches near the bottom there, Brant Boyer, special teams, huge. Yes, there's still an issue with Jake Moody. If I was going to grade that just alone, D, I mean, there's a lot of guys there that are special teamers. Farrell's a blocker, and you gave him a fair amount of money. Demarcus Robinson is a fill-in, don't love it. The rest of the guys are special teamers, don't love Mac Jones, and Trey Brown gets injured a lot, so I don't love that. Rookies, total crapshoot. You know how this goes. This is like shooting darts at a dartboard, especially the first year. If it's a perfect world for the 49ers, Mikael Williams sets the edge and, I don't know, gets 8 or 9 sacks. Alfred Collins stops the run, but he's 6'6". He makes me a little nervous. Nick Martin is some sort of version of Dre Greenlaw. That's a lot to ask of a rookie. Upton Stout is a guy who's going to be the slot only. Think of K'Wan Williams, smaller guy, feisty. That would be his upside. CJ West, actually, I like a little better than Collins. True run stuffer at 6'2", about 320. Jordan Watkins isn't being talked about enough to me. He can be a return guy, runs a sub 4.40. Jordan James, I think, is going to be the backup running back. I think Oregon running backs who have come into the league. No, not Michael James, but good Oregon running backs lately have come into the league, and they understand what things are all about, and he'll get north and south. Marcus Siegel is an interesting guy at Kansas State. Didn't get a ton of time there. Only one season starting, but ran a 4.37 40, and he's a physical guy. He could maybe make up for Malik Mustafa's loss. I would love to see them still at a veteran there. Curtis Rourke, okay. Connor Colby went to Iowa, so there's got to be something. And Bergen is another guy, the wide receiver out of Montana. Say it with me, special teams, which cost them so much last year. Rookies, I hate grades on rookies. I don't know. Incomplete. And I know everybody hates when you say incomplete. I haven't seen them enough. I've never seen them on an NFL football field. I've watched a lot of college football. Incomplete. I tell you this all the time. They're lottery tickets. You just don't know. This could be a great rookie class. This could fall directly on its face, but a lot of the season depends on it. If I was going to say what rookies need to step forward, Williams, Collins, Martin, Stout, West. If all those guys did, it would be a miracle, but those guys especially the two guys inside, 3 of the 4 guys could be starting as rookies on the defensive line next to Nick Bosa. Coaches, to me, are huge. Brant Boyer, special teams. We know how many times the special teams let down the Niners. If they are, 50% better than they were a year ago, that's probably worth a couple of games. Clay Kubiak, I screamed at the beginning of the offseason about this. Get a guy in there that Kyle trusts and will listen to an extent. Don't get me wrong. Kyle Shanahan is the czar when it comes to this team, let alone the offense. But maybe, just maybe, Clay Kubiak can get in his ear and a little bit more aggressiveness. I'm not saying every 4th down. I'm not saying that you got to be Dan Campbell or somebody that's super aggressive, but just a little bit more aggressive and mix things up a little bit in the red zone. I'd like to see that from Clay Kubiak. Hopefully that can get done. This is why we had to regrade. Key players retained: Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Fred Warner, and of course they let Juszczyk go and then they re-signed him. But here's the biggest thing. It's not only that they got re-signed, which I told you the entire offseason they would, but it's when they got them re-signed. All these guys get re-signed before June 1. Why is that significant? Well, end of this month, May, they're all going to get back on the field. They're all going to be signed. Kumbaya. This is not 2024 all over again. And to me, that is absolutely huge. No holdouts, Trent Williams. No hold-ins, Brandon Ayuk. Everybody's going to be on the field, at least those who are healthy. Sets a different tone for 2025 for the 49ers, and they've learned a lesson, I think. Don't want to be signing guys in July, August, September, things like that. Resentment, negativity, guys aren't on the field. Now Brock Purdy in the offseason could go work with everybody. He's under contract. He's got the guaranteed money. There's no more debates. There's no more dumb talk shows. Is he worth $50 million? Is he not? It's done. It's done for all these guys, and there's no distractions for the Niners going into the season. And then back from injury, Christian McCaffrey, I stood right next to him. He said he's healthy. Take his word for it. Trent Williams says he's healthy. I'll take his word for it. Brandon Ayuk's a different story as I go to injuries at the bottom. Ayuk's going to be a big deal. Can Ricky Pearsall step up in his stead? Can Demarcus Robinson at least do a little bit as a veteran? And then we go back to the rookies. Jordan Watkins, 4.37 40 out of Ole Miss. Can he surprise? They're still looking for that element of speed that Danny Gray was supposed to give. Never has been done under Kyle and John as far as that speed guy. So maybe Watkins could be that guy, at least so they can survive until Ayuk gets back. But with Kittle, with a healthy McCaffrey, with Jawan Jennings, with Pearsall hopefully living up to a first-round billing, they should have plenty of offense. So that is the offseason. Oh, by the way, Malik Mustafa's injury is a killer. There's just no way around it. I wouldn't, even if I had known about it, I still wouldn't have signed Hufanga. Maybe Sigel, the kid out of Kansas State. Maybe there's going to be a safety that shakes free. Remember a couple of years ago, Tayshaun Gibson was a late signing for the 49ers. I'd love to see an adult in a room in that secondary. Of course, Lenore's there. Renardo Green's very young, though. I don't exactly trust Jair Brown deep in the secondary, especially because of his lack of speed. So it would be great to have a veteran there, at least until Mustafa came back. So maybe somebody like that could shake free, but I don't expect it. So I'd be a little nervous on the back end with the Malik Mustafa injury. My departures, you probably give departures a D. Additions, probably D. Rookies, we'll see. Coaches, A. I like Brant Boyer. I like Clay Kubiak. Key players retained, A+, getting Juszczyk back, getting the 3 signed. Not only that they got them signed, when they got them signed, back from injury, A. Christian McCaffrey's back. Trent Williams is back. We'll see on Brandon Ayuk, but a killer from Malik Mustafa. So what does it equal, the 49ers offseason? I wanted to do one more offseason grades because it started out so poorly, finished up strongly. So what do you got for a grade for the 49ers? Put them in the comments under here, under this show, or hit me up at John Lund Radio on X. What would you give the 49ers for a grade in this offseason? Started bad, finished strong. Where do you go with the 49ers in the grade? Put your comments right underneath this show. John Lund Unleashed on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Hit me up. Tell me what grade you would give the 49ers this offseason. I would give them, drumroll please, B-. You may say that B- is too strong. I just don't. Debo, I'm not worried about. Hargrave, I'm not worried about. Floyd, I'm not worried about. Banks, I'm not worried about. Hufanga would have been nice because of the injury. And Ward was a guy in 23 that you'd miss, but not in 24. Dre Greenlaw's the only major one. Notable veteran additions. They could have done better. Tons of special teams guys. I'm not really excited about anybody out of that list. I got to be honest with you. Rookie-wise, Mikael Williams, edge, be a strong on the edge, give you 8 sacks. Collins and West have to be a major part of the rotation. Stout has to be good enough so that Demo Lenore can stay on the outside. He stays on the inside. Like I said, think of K'Wan Williams. If he's a big part of it, West is a big part of it. Maybe Watkins. I don't expect it. James, I think, is going to be the number 2 back, and anybody beyond that is asking way too much from the rookies. Like the new additions of the coaches, love the players that they retained, and when they did it, that's an A+. I give the Niners a B-, and then you throw the schedule on it and how easy the schedule is going to be, and they should win 10 games with their eyes closed no matter what they lost in this offseason. So there you go. I give them a B-. Give me your Niners grade right now in the comment section. Remember, John Lund Unleashed, Monday through Friday on YouTube, 8 a.m. Pacific time, but you can watch the show anytime, 10 a.m. on Saturdays. We go live when news breaks, so make sure you have those alerts on, you're subscribed, and give us the like button. Give us your grade right now. 49ers offseason, final grade. Now that we have the final push of the signings of Purdy, Kittle, and Warner, give us your grade in the comment section.